Everyone is part of a bigger story. It's a bigger story than you can imagine. It's a big story about a really big God. Discover the story that shows you the character of God. Hey, I'm CJ, and even though I got and gave some fun stuff for Christmas, nothing beats this. It's my Bible. I love to read just about anything, stories and history, and yeah, even poetry. And the cool thing is, you can find all of that right here in the Bible. While every word is inspired by God, He used a lot of different people to help write it. One of them was a powerful king named Solomon, who collected wise sayings about how God wants us to live and wrote them all down in the book of Proverbs. These proverbs can give you wisdom for just about any situation. A lot of them talk about how to make the right choice, even when you feel like doing something different. That's self-control, and I've got 5 verses that give us the big picture. We get started in Proverbs chapter 25, verse 28. A lot of Proverbs paint word pictures like this one. A person without self-control is like a city whose walls are broken through. Imagine one of those old cities with a castle surrounded by a thick stone wall. If the wall was destroyed, anything could get in. Enemies, dragons, giants, you name it. And when you can't control your temper or your words or your actions, well, you're just like that city with no walls, waiting for trouble to show up and take over. Now we're heading to Proverbs 16, verse 32. It is better to be patient than to fight. It is better to control your temper than to take a city. God made you, and He knows it can be tough for you to stay out of fights and arguments. In fact, God says it's an even bigger, better deal for you to control your temper than if you were to become a warrior and take over a whole city. The good news, He'll help you learn to keep a lid on that temper. Next up, Proverbs 21, verse 23. Those who are careful about what they say keep themselves out of trouble. You want to avoid your mom cutting your screen time or your best friend getting mad at you? Then watch what comes out of your mouth. Often, it's not what you do, but what you say and how you say it that gets you in trouble. Moving right along to Proverbs 25, verse 16. If you find honey, eat just enough. If you eat too much of it, you will throw up. Ever had a PB&H sandwich? Peanut butter and honey. It's so good. But think about what would happen if you poured a whole jar of honey on that sandwich and ate it for lunch. Not so good. In fact, it's a classic case of too much of a good thing. Too many slices of pizza, too many hours playing games on your tablet, too much time in the sun. You get the picture. God gave us good things and wants us to enjoy them in just the right amounts. Time to wrap it all up in Proverbs 4, verse 23. Above everything else, guard your heart. Everything you do comes from it. Guard your heart. That's just a fancy way of saying be careful what you think about. Everything you do and everything you say starts out as something you think. And while you can't control every thought that pops into your head, God will help you change the way you think when you ask for His help. In fact, there's no way to keep a rein on your thoughts and words and actions without God's help. He designed you, and He's the one who makes self-control possible. And I sure can't wait to see how it plays out in you and me.